Update 2 on Tropical Storm Kong-rey, currently with winds of 60 miles per hour and a pressure of 985 millibars. Currently moving past the Philippine Islands, the Bataan Islands in particular at this time, where we have Signal 2 warnings currently in effect. The storm's expected to move generally northwards, passing Taiwan and the southern Ryukyu Islands in Japan, and then moving over the open water towards the mainland of Japan, possibly making landfall in Kyushu before moving on to the rest of the islands, Shikoku and Honshu. Signal 2 warnings currently in effect for the Bataan Islands in the Philippines, and Signal 1 warnings in effect for the northern section of the Philippines itself, the mainland, and those islands as well. The heavy rain warnings also in effect for most of Taiwan at this time. More information on those on the website. So let's take a look at the probability of tropical storm conditions in the next 96 hours. You can see here high chances of tropical storm conditions to be experienced around the Taiwanese coast, especially along the eastern coast and the southern Ryukyu Islands in Japan, and generally the mainland of Japan will probably be the most likely place to see tropical storm conditions as well in 96 hours time or less. Generally around day 3 to 4 we'll probably see a high chance of tropical storm conditions occurring as the storm passes through there, probably as a moderate to high end tropical storm depending on how things go. So let's take a look at the sea surface temperatures. You can see generally around 28, maybe 29 degrees in some areas where the storm is, so certainly warm enough conditions to sustain development. Let's take a look at the computer models then. The CMC first of all predicts the storm to move past Taiwan and the Japanese islands and then stall a little bit and then proceed towards the mainland Japanese islands as well, with another system forming behind that near Taiwan and hanging around that area, and another system coming in out in the open ocean. The GFS model is a little bit less clear. You can see it moving into China and then weakening and then forming it out of it again, passing Taiwan and then moving towards the Ryukyu Islands as a possibly significant system, maybe a typhoon landfall in southern Kyushu according to that model. That remains to be seen. The latest satellite imagery you can see here towards the north of the storm, there's not really been too much in the terms of heavy rainfall, so you can see a little bit of the centre of circulation exposed in that visible imagery that you just saw there. Most of the heavy rainfall is towards the south and towards the southwest of the storm, displaced towards that end of the storm. So that means those islands in between the Philippines and Taiwan will probably get the worst of the heavy rainfall over the next few hours at least, and then Taiwan, that's probably not great news for Taiwan either if it's displaced to the southwest, because then the Taiwanese coast may experience some heavy rainfall as well. Indeed, heavy rain warnings already in effect in anticipation of the storm. There could be some flooding, especially in the mountainous areas of Taiwan over the next few days. The Ryukyu Islands may get away with not too much in terms of bad conditions. The Yaeyama Islands will probably be more of a concern than any of the others. The Miyako Islands may get away completely, especially if it moves a bit more towards the west. So let's take a look at the current world tropics. August the 27th, as of 6 PM UTC, Kong-rey is the only tropical storm out there at the moment, though we do have a number of invests across the Pacific. 92W in the South China Sea, 93W east of Kong-rey, 95E which is in the eastern Pacific near Mexico, and 96E which is further towards the southeast, a little bit further out to sea, and that's more likely to form than 95E. So it's the 12th tropical storm of the 2013 typhoon season so far. There's 4 typhoons so far this year, and this could be the 5th. It's certainly forecast to do so, though it's probably borderline as to whether it will attain typhoon status or not. It's currently at 60 miles per hour, so it's certainly got a fair chance, and it will certainly not become a Category 3 typhoon. I think we could rule that one out quite clearly. 2 so far this year. And you can track this storm, and indeed any others that are out there that are currently active, or indeed any storms that form in future, at the website force13.com/stormtracking.html. That's the main page where you can see the storm tracking information, the overview map where the storms are, including invests, with tables at the top and bottom which show their intensities and any warnings that are currently in effect. And then you can go further in depth, basin by basin, to see where the storms are, where they're headed to, and indeed any more information of relevance in more detail, which is obviously fairly important. And in between this and the next video, that website will be updated probably more often than we churn out these videos, so make sure you stay up to date on the website in between now and the next video, which will probably be arriving sometime tomorrow, Wednesday the 28th of August 2013. But until then, that's all for now.